So here's the joke, Dave. Please forgive me because it's been a long time since I heard this joke, and I think I've told this joke in Portuguese a couple times, but it's been a long time, so I'm gonna try to do my best to put it to you in English. So bear with me. So the joke is, I'm gonna tell the joke as an Uruguayan sitting with two Brazilians, okay? There are many versions of the joke, but I'm going to give you this one, and you can play with it as you feel. So the two Brazilians and the Uruguayan are drinking, the two Brazilians are drinking mate, yeah? And they are by the fire in a camp, just picture like the Pampas, yeah? On the border between Uruguay and Brazil. So they are like gauchos, and they're drinking their mate after a long day's work. And the two Brazilians are drinking their mate, and they're talking, and then comes the Uruguayan from across the border. And he sits down with them, and he says, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And he says, "Hey, join us." And he said, "Hand me over the mate." And then the Brazilian gives him the mate, and the Uruguayan drinks, and he says, "Oh boy, are we in Paraguay or something? Are you drinking tereré?" And they ask him why. He said, "This water's too cold, man. Turn this heat up. Put more wood on the fire because this water is not warm enough." And then they're warming the water in the fire in a pot. And then after like 5 minutes, the water is really warm. And then they pour him another mate, and the Uruguayan drinks. And he goes, "It's lukewarm, not good enough." And they say, "Fuck, man, what do we do with this pain in the ass Uruguayan?" And then they put more wood in the fire. They put the pot closer to the center of the heat of the fire. And then after 5 minutes, they pour him another mate, and they say, "Okay, that's going to be good for him." And then he drinks it, and he says, "It's still not good enough, man. It's not warm enough. What the fuck?" And then they say, "Okay, now you're fucked with us, man." And they're thinking to themselves, yeah? Talking to each other in Portuguese. In a way he doesn't understand, maybe. I'm just putting my imagination into it. And then they say, "Okay, let's do this then." And then they put a lot of, like, very hard wood on the fire. And they make the water boil real hot. In a way that almost the pot melts, you know? So the water is really hot. It's boiling hot as it can be. And then they pour him another mate. And then he very confidently drinks a big sip of it. And it naturally burns his mouth and his throat. And then as he drinks it, he goes and he closes his eyes. And as if trying to divert from the fact that he's burned his mouth and he's crying from the pain, he wipes his tear off his face and he says, "Oh man." And they look at him, "Oh, what are you doing, Uruguayan? Are you was the water too hot for you now, you piece of shit?" And then he says, No. Que pasa es que extraño al Uruguay." Extraño al Uruguay.
It's Chiba. AR. Yeah, I gotta get the chick. Shit, no, I got 'em on the music. Yeah, nigga gon' snooze. Niggas think that I'm a nuisance. Why they always be hey? Yeah, nigga gon' do it. I be smoking all day. Had a whole way booming. Yeah, I gotta get the chick. No, I got 'em on the music. Yeah, nigga gon' snooze. Niggas think that I'm a nuisance.